Hello everybody, this is Mr. Morfetto, and today I want to talk about Goten and Trunks, but more importantly, I want to talk about how I feel they both need major character development, and they both need to be aged up physically in the Dragon Ball Super anime and manga. I looked at Wikipedia, and it says that Goten is 13 and Trunks is 14. And I'm assuming years are gonna keep passing by in Dragon Ball Super until they get to the end of Z, where Goten and Trunks are much older looking, probably 18, 17. So they're really close to their age there. They're only a few years away from 17, 18 years old. And they still look younger than they did in Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. I think they made them younger and they act almost dumber and more innocent than they did in Z, which really kind of ruined their character so far in Super. I mean, even in Z, I have been very critical of Goten and Trunks, and I personally feel that their story arc in the Buu Saga ruined the Buu Saga, and they were just padding until Gohan came back with his ultimate form, which also turned out to not help that much anyway, and Goku ended up saving the whole world, which is a long story. But I have been very critical of Goten and Trunks from their Buu Saga, because I feel like without them, characters like Piccolo wouldn't have been turned into a babysitter laughingstock of a character in the Buu Saga, and he might have had a chance to get a power-up of his own, so he could have been the guy to hold off Majin Buu until Gohan got his power-up, or could have been involved in Gohan's training instead of babysitting Goten and Trunks. Let's start off with this. Trunks and Goten are both half Saiyans, right? And according to Akira Toriyama, have the most potential out of all the current Saiyans. Because they were conceived after Vegeta and Goku had already achieved the Super Saiyan transformation. And can also be the reason they were born without tails, because their fathers had evolved with the Super Saiyan evolution, so in a way evolved their genes for their future children. And it's also interesting to me that Goten and Trunks were born with such high power levels. I mean, think about Broly, who was born, I believe, with a 10,000, maybe more power level. I'm not sure if they changed that in the new movie. I can't really remember. But, I mean, he was born with a very high power level, and he had a messed up childhood with his terrible father who messed him up mentally, so he's got some form of PTSD, so it gives him a rage, legendary Super Saiyan power boost. He was born with this power. I mean, Goten and Trunks achieved Super Saiyan at extremely young ages, around 7 and 8, with basically no training at all, except a little bit of training. Vegeta was only interested in training Trunks after he found out Trunks could turn Super Saiyan. And Goten trained with his mother for most of his life, while he got a little bit of training with Gohan before the tournament. But, I mean, and that tournament spot was fun. It was fun to watch Goten and Trunks train, and that was good character development. But they both haven't had a lot of training. What I'm trying to say is they were born with a high power level, just like Broly, so they have a high potential. They could reach higher heights if they trained, and I don't know why there's not an emphasis on their training or some form of them training in the background, at least in Dragon Ball Super. So far in the show, Goten and Trunks, they fused and tried to fight Beerus and basically got spanked, and literally got spanked in the manga. They tried, I believe, to fight Frieza and them and got their asses kicked. They weren't even thought about for the Universe 6 tournament. And for the Tournament of Power, they were basically written off and had to go take care of Android 17's Animal Park. And I know in the manga they have like some mini side story with the Cell Juniors, but that amounted to nothing, and they never really went into detail about that. I would have really liked to know what happened with the Cell Juniors in the manga. I mean, if that happened, then that means the Cell Juniors are canon, so that's pretty crazy. But Goten and Trunks have had very little screen time, and I don't count any of the filler fights they had with the fake Vegeta in that filler arc. They haven't had any touching moments. Goten has Goku's haircut, but he is the most hollow character out of the entire cast. The only character of development Kid Trunks has had in Dragon Ball Super is hanging out with the future, better version of himself, Future Trunks. And then in that arc, there was this part where Trunks was training with Vegeta, but Trunks slept in, but that was at least in the manga. And Bulma was like, I can't believe the differences between Future Trunks and Trunks other than their hair color. But the difference is that Trunks is just a little kid that likes to play fight with Goten, and Goten just likes to play fight with Trunks. They like to play fight. That's about it. I don't know where their characters are going, but they should be trained and become the next heroes in the future series. They need to be aged up. Trunks should look at least like he did in the Future Trunks movie before they aged him up in that movie. He's about 14 years old, going on 15, soon to be 16. I mean, they need to age these kids up. They need a new look. They need a new attitude. We need to know what they want in life. Like, do they want to fight? Do they just do this because their fathers do it? They're mostly a comedy act in Dragon Ball Super. They never strategize before they attack. They always get beaten in a few attack. I don't think they've had one even fight in Dragon Ball Super where they just get squashed every time. Even though they can turn Super Saiyan 3, they've made Super Saiyan 3 a joke. They have turned Super Saiyan 3 into a mockery of a transformation. I remember when I first saw Super Saiyan 3, when Goku did it, I wanted Vegeta to get a Super Saiyan 3. I wanted Future Trunks to have a Super Saiyan 3. Gohan to find a way to go Super Saiyan 3. I wanted to see all these characters in this transformation. But Gotenks has now made it a joke gimmick. It's his gimmick, and he's the one that keeps it alive. But he doesn't win any fights. He puts no potential. I have no faith that Goten and Trunks can win a fight even against opponents weaker than them. I personally feel characters like Tien Shinhan and Krillin could take them down. Because with strategy and training, Goten and Trunks need a training arc. They need to figure out who their sensei is. They need mentorship. But most importantly, they need a new look. They need a new outfit. They need just a new attitude towards life. It'd be great if they were included in one of these tournaments. I'm glad we got to see Roshi, Tien Shinhan, Krillin all participate in the Tournament of Power. But I mean, they didn't get to do a lot, so it would have been nice to see a character get developed. And it's time for Trunks and Goten to be developed. All these other characters only Vegeta and Goku get developed. And I know it's the Vegeta and Goku show, Dragon Ball Super. But what about after Dragon Ball Super? What about after they get to Oob in I believe the 27th martial arts tournament at the end of Z? When they get to Oob and Goten and Trunks are 16, 17, 18 years old. And they need to be the ones to save the day. Gohan, them, Oob, Pan, Bra. We need the next generation to be developed. There's so much potential here for Goten and Trunks. Like I said, they were born with high power levels. Like Broly, they have the potential to be just as powerful as Broly. They can go, if they can find a way to unlock, if they train with their dads and unlock Super Saiyan God or Ultra Instinct or a new form of something for themselves, I think they should continue the fusion gimmick. I like that they are a fusion tag team fighter pair, but they need more development than just being the tag team fusion guy that gets beat when they go into fights. What do you think? Do you think Goten and Trunks should be aged up in Dragon Ball Super like I do? I believe that Goten and Trunks have a lot of potential, but I personally do not like them. And right now, because they haven't been developed, there's nothing to like. And when they take time out of the story for characters that I do like, that have been developed in the past and have characters and goals, Tenshinhan, Krillin, Piccolo, I feel like Goten and Trunks have taken time away from their development because they have to find spots for them, but they never actually do anything with them. It's time, and it's hard for me to say this because I love characters like Krillin, Roshi, Tenshinhan. Those characters haven't had proper development in years, and their characters are starting to reach high ages. Maybe it's time to let them become mentors to the next generation. Let them retire from the big fights, but they could mentor Krillin, Tenshinhan, Piccolo, Gohan. They could mentor these children, Goten, Trunks, Pan, Bra, Marin even, and watch them grow and become stronger and pass on their techniques to them, help them develop their own techniques, unique techniques, but then also some shades of the past. And then every once in a while you can bring back the old guard. If you're not going to develop Tenshinhan and Krillin or Android 18, if you're not going to develop them, then develop these young kids that can get older and stronger in the story. That's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Do you think Goten and Trunks should be aged up? Do you think they need character development? Or do you think that they should be written out of the story completely? Because that's basically what they've done without actually doing it. I'm Mr. Morfetto. Thank you for listening.